Sawadee-kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today is our group learning program, and I'll be guiding students in a loving kindness meditation. This meditation is designed to help you eliminate anger, hatred, ill will, and all the lesser versions, like frustration, irritation, annoyance. By the time you get to enlightenment, you've eliminated even the slightest dislike towards other beings. Right now, you might have certain beings that you like and certain beings that you dislike. This is all due to your mind's craving, desire, attachment, the wants and expectations. Whereas if somebody's meeting your expectations, what you want, you'll probably like them. But if they're not meeting your expectations and what you want, then you will dislike them. This is actually coming from your own mind. And now in those situations, you can't experience harmony in all your relationships. Because when people aren't meeting your expectations, you're probably getting angry and annoyed and frustrated. And you might be pushing these people away, thinking that that's going to solve your problem. Or you might be bitter and harsh and hostile towards them through your intentions, your speech, and your actions. This is almost like an animal trying to fear another being into doing things your way. Or you might be putting your expectations on this person, trying to force them and control them to do things your way. And in this situation, you can't live harmoniously with all beings because you're pushing people away, being bitter, harsh, and hostile, and putting your expectations on people. So what you would like to be able to do as part of your journey to enlightenment, where the mind can be peaceful, calm, serene, and content with joy, is get to the point where there's no anger, hatred, ill will, or any of those lesser versions in the mind, that there's no frustration, irritation, annoyance, even the slightest dislike towards others. So I'm going to guide you in this meditation and helping you to transform your mind. But you're going to need to build this up so that consistently you're meditating 2 or 3 times a day for 30 minutes or more. And not only with loving kindness meditation, but with breathing mindfulness meditation as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with some chanting to ease us into the meditation. Then I'm going to guide you in a breathing mindfulness meditation session. There'll be a period of time where it's just quiet and we're meditating. Then we're going to come back in with the guidance for loving kindness meditation. Then we're going to go back to the breathing mindfulness meditation and back to the chanting. The way that I think about it is like a loving kindness sandwich. You got loving kindness in the middle. The lettuce and tomato is the breathing mindfulness meditation. And the bread holding it all together, that's the chanting. So if you'd like to take a position, either seated, lying, or standing, these are helpful for loving kindness meditation. I'm going to start chanting and easing us into meditation. And if you know these chants, you're always welcome to join in. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Mahakavanang Apivateyami Sawakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso bhagava สัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตูอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสนังโอโตภาควาติ Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, in the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath, a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up to the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathe in gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath. cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May mom and dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May my family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who have harmed me be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well. May all beings be free of discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. Now return back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธมหาเกวาโอตังมหาเกวันนังอภิวาเตมิสวากขาโตมหาเกวัตตาธัมโมดามังนามาสามิสุปฏิปันโนมหาเขวโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมหาเขวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารนังสัมมุโนสกาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรโพริสาดามาสติสตาตาวามนุสนังโอโตภาควาติ If you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining our class today, whether you're in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, welcome. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask related to the path to enlightenment, that's what I'm going to do with our time, is just open up to any and all questions that you might have. You can put those into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, or you can raise your hand in Zoom and ask any questions that you like. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, it looks like Leo has some questions. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, David.
Hello there, Leo.
Yeah, my first question is what I realized, because I have a strong pollen allergy, and now the spring is slowly coming back into Germany. So I realized that the pollen allergy is arising. Do you know anything about pollen allergies? And what do you think? Because I'm a bit curious about if I will do the job in the agriculture, I will be into this environment where there are a lot of pollen. Is it maybe unwise to do a job where I'm exposed to a lot of pollen? If I have like these different symptoms, I can tell you. Symptoms include like constant sneezing, constant coughing, a persistent stuffy and runny nose, fatigueness throughout the day, and sleep disturbances. Yeah, and do the Buddhist teachings have solutions for people with these symptoms?
This
I also realized that it disturbs, for example, my meditation. It started now already with the coughing, for example, every few seconds, sometimes, right now not, but if the pollen are more strong, and of course the runny nose and so on.
This is more of a medical question related to the physical body. And the Buddha didn't teach things related to the physical body in terms of medical things. So if you have, those kinds of needs, you would like to seek out that type of information from someone who can help you with that. In terms of the mind, though, you can train your mind to be unaffected by illness in the body or this impermanence in the body. But whether you choose to, continue forward or not, this is a personal decision for you of whether to or not to put the body in that situation. So, I would suggest you talk with medical professionals about any kind of issues related to medical symptoms. You can train the mind to eliminate any kind of discontentedness related to these symptoms. And then, whether you decide to continue forward in that job or not, that's a decision that only you can make based on gathering that information from medical professionals and observing your mind and seeing from that standpoint whether it would be wise for you to continue or not.
Okay. You have ideas what, for example, if I'm coughing every 5 seconds while I'm meditating, this is a disturbance, right? Because I cannot really focus on the breath for a long period. What do you think about this? Is this problematic for the development of my mind or for the training the mind to let go? Yeah.
If it was long-term and persistent, I would say it would present challenges for you because you're not going to be able to, train your mind so well. But oftentimes these kinds of situations are, just for a particular season or for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I'm not sure how long allergy season usually lasts in Germany and how long you're affected, but that's something that you'll need to look at and consider as part of your decision making.
Okay, it would be like 3 months I would be in this environment. So 3 months I would have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. You might consider wearing a mask. That could be helpful for you. Um, you know, that you could talk to a doctor and see if there's things that you can do to stop the coughing. But, right now, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking about, if you prevent the pollen from going in, this can help you. So you might consider wearing a mask during meditation, for example.
Yeah, I have all these things in mind, but I think it could be still difficult for me because the toys are all on the clothes and so on. So I bring them into the house. So even if I open the window right there inside, then I have also a little bit asthmatic coming with this pollen allergies. It comes together because of the pollen allergy. I get also asthmatic. So the mask is sometimes not very good in this case. So that's what was my question about how is it affecting the progress if I every 5 seconds I have to rewire the mind back to the breath because I'm coughing or whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like you have some things to consider.
Okay. What do you think about being spontaneously?
You mean being spontaneous?
Yeah. Is it no problem or is it unwise? It depends, right?
Yeah, it just depends each situation. I mean, any decisions that you make about what to do in the world, you would like to have it well thought out, right? Like you're not interested in just jumping from thing to thing to thing. So there's no harm in being spontaneous. Like I woke up 2 days ago here in the USA. I think I woke up at like 4 a.m. in the morning and I did a little bit of work on the computer and then I was hungry. And I talked to the person who's invited me here and I said, hey, would you like to go out and eat some breakfast somewhere? Right? It just popped in my head. I was hungry because I didn't really eat dinner the night before very much. And I said, "Hey, would you like to go eat breakfast outside?" Right? So someone might consider that to be spontaneous, but we know that we're not harming anybody by choosing to drive a car to go have breakfast, for example, right? So there's no harm in being spontaneous. You would just like to make sure all your decisions are wise and you're not causing any harm.
Then, uh, yeah, what I realized is that I use ChatGPT very often. For example, yeah, like for every little thing. Like instead of using Google, for example, I ask ChatGPT for something. I also use it, I would say, for wise things. For example, writing an application for an internship, making sure that the text is correct formulated without any mistake. But yeah, is this dedication to ChatGPT also problematic? Yeah, when comes the point that it is problematic?
In my opinion, it could be in some cases if you're not allowing the mind to develop the wisdom of how to do certain tasks and you're just relying on the computer to do those for you. That means you're not having the opportunity to cultivate wisdom. But there's probably other situations where it can be quite helpful in certain situations. So the ultimate goal is to cultivate wisdom. So, for example, if Chat GPT, I don't know it very much at all, but let's just say it writes your resume or your CV for you, right? Well, if you never learned how to do that yourself, that's a skill that you don't have. And Chat GPT is impermanent. It's not going to always be there. So if you rely on a tool to be able to do that when you don't have access to it and you need to do that particular function or that task, you can't do it because you've never allowed the mind to cultivate the wisdom to do it. So that's something that you're going to need to look at on a case by case basis.
Maybe best to write it myself, right? What I actually also do, write it myself, and then let ChatGPT look over it. If he sees any mistakes, if he would do it differently, this can be helpful, right? Because I see, oh, he would do it like this. I mean, ChatGPT is not perfect, so
yeah. But, is ChatGPT a male? Yeah, you can do it that way. There's no harm in doing that. That'll actually help you cultivate more wisdom because you'll make your best efforts based on the wisdom that you have first. And then you're using a tool to be able to show you areas of improvement. And now when you look at those areas of improvement, that's new wisdom that you'll have that you can use next time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let me see if we have any other questions anywhere else. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions anywhere. So I'm going to end class by just thanking all of you guys for joining. Thank you for being interested in learning the teachings of the Buddha and practicing some meditation with us here today. If you'd like to learn more, you're more than welcome. We have classes, courses, and retreats all throughout the month and throughout the year. In fact, today here in the USA, I'm going to be doing an introduction to the Path to Enlightenment course, which is just a 3-hour course where you can learn an introduction to the teachings of the Buddha. And then starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a Foundation in the Path to Enlightenment course. And I'm going to be live streaming that from here. So it's a time zone that I don't normally teach on. So depending on where you are in the world, you might be able to have access to some live classes where you can tune in and you can participate and you can ask questions and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, I have regular classes on Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. And then when I'm back in Chiang Mai, there's also classes from there too that you can attend in Chiang Mai, Thailand, or you can attend the live streams as well. So the next class that I'm going to be teaching for the group learning program is this Sunday. On Sunday, I'm going to be in chapter 18 of our book, Developing a Life Practice, The Path That Leads to Enlightenment. In this chapter, it's titled God's Creative Action, You Have Free Will. I'm going to be helping students understand how to get to enlightenment either with a relationship with this being of God or without a relationship with this being. Because you can actually get to enlightenment without a relationship with this being if that's what you choose to do. But there's certain things that you need to understand. And the same thing if you're interested in getting to enlightenment with a relationship with this being. There are certain things that you're going to need to understand. But it's not God who determines whether you actually get to enlightenment or not. And that's why you can choose yourself of whether or not to have a relationship with this being. But either way, you're going to need to have more understanding about this being in order to be able to make your way to enlightenment. And then next week on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing breathing mindfulness meditation with students and opening up to any and all questions that you might have. If you're looking for access to these books, you can go to buddhadailywisdom.com. That's our website. And you can download them for free. You can take them and go print them. You can get printed versions on Amazon if your country has access to Amazon. Or if you're in Chiang Mai, Thailand, we have them at the temple. So thank you all so much for joining. And perhaps we'll see you guys in one of these future classes. Be well and take care. Have a lovely and wonderful rest of your day. Sawadee ka.
Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.